to receive this award from Jet. We are both humbled, and I would like to take this opportunity to recognize my wife for all that she has done for Jet and the Jewish community at large so far. Or as I like to say, I pay, she volunteers. As the grandson of the late Casey Swedlove, who received the Gilbert Greenberg Award in 1995, I knew throughout my life that I had very large shoes to fill on the subject of volunteering in the Jewish community. I know that if I can tear but just one page from my grandfather's book of volunteering, I'll be doing okay. I am also honored, as you've heard, to have applied and been chosen to go on the men's trip to Israel this November, sponsored by Jet. It will be my first time in my life that I will be going to the Holy Land. Even harder to believe that as an Air Canada employee, and I looked it up today, I can travel and return to Israel for as little as $103.44. But that's standby. Now, for those of you who are not employees, standby as an employee means you may not have a seat, so you may just be standing there looking at the plane going, bye. So why is it taking me this long to get to Israel? And Shavuot, I turned 42 by the Jewish calendar, and this Saturday I'll be 42 by the English calendar. Well, that's the million-dollar question, ladies and gentlemen. However, one of the reasons why I'm going, please God, is my wife standing beside me. Without her being involved with Jet, and the trip being sponsored in part by Jet, it just wouldn't be possible to have the same wonderful experience that she had in 2011 and 2014. Watching my wife volunteer with Jet has not just inspired me to do more, it has energized me to learn about various causes, learn about the state of Israel, and see what it is that I can do to help others. I am not one, nor have I ever been, to do anything willy-nilly. I try to learn and do research first before I act on something. If it doesn't work out, then I try something else until a goal is achieved. One goal I am working on is to try and help out the IDF, Tzahal, the Israel Defense Force. I know through my wife going on 2 Jet women's trips that there is an organization called Thank Israeli Soldiers. Donations of clothing and toiletries can be packaged up by civilians visiting Israel or by residents themselves, and the soldiers can receive these gifts at their bases or outposts. So far, there's an Israeli chapter, Washington, D.C. chapter, and a Toronto chapter. With help, I'm hoping to see if it is feasible to open an Ottawa chapter. It is definitely worth a shot to do more research and get some information. After all, the state of Israel needs us always, and now more than ever. The ever-rising levels of anti-Semitism in the world, along with the constant criticism that Israel faces in the news on a daily basis by various organizations, should energize all of us to do more for Israel and our people. I know these events certainly have energized me. I just hope that with some hard work, achievements can be made. And who knows, as a ground crew worker for Air Canada, an airline which flies a few times a week to Tel Aviv, maybe I can find a way to take these goods to the soldiers personally. Again, I want to thank Rabbi and Mrs. Shafts for bestowing this wonderful honor on Nikki and me. I hope that with support from Jet, good health from God, and my wife's abundant energy, this is just the beginning for the 2 of us.
To be honorees is not something that Michael and I are used to. We're usually the ones behind the scenes, quietly doing what is needed, setting up, cleaning up, planning and preparing. But tonight, the focus is all on us, and it's very humbling. Being Jewish was always important to us. We attend synagogue. I even worked at a synagogue. We shopped at Loblaws Kosher Market, have in the past sent our kids to the JCC and CBB summer camps, and we have Jewish friends. We thought we were living Jewishly. I never really thought more about it. Then one day, my coworker, Audrey Kreisman, started to sniffle and grab for a tissue across the room at her desk. I asked her if she was okay, and she said, "You've got to come over and see this." She was in the process of planning and preparing for her own JWRP trip through Jet in that spring. This was in 2010. I came over to her desk to find her watching a video from Lori Palatnik, the lead speaker and one of the founding JWRP women of the one of the founders of the JWRP movement. She had Audrey all emotional. In the video, Lori asked the audience, "Is it important to you to have Jewish grandchildren?" And she went on to ask, "What are you doing to help have Jewish grandchildren. The video went on, and I was listening and I was thinking. This thought stayed with me for several days. I kept coming back to this thought. Is it important to me? I watched Audrey come and go on her trip to Israel with Lauren and all the other women. She was so excited and so full of life. But it was what happened after the trip that was really beautiful. Audrey would attend her weekly classes on Tuesday evenings with Lauren and her new trip friends. They talked about the holidays and customs and Israel politics and the hows and whys, everything imaginable. Every week on Wednesday morning, Audrey would come to work and give me the class that she'd had the night before. Before long, Audrey was collecting a handout for me too, and bringing it along to help enhance my private lesson with her. I loved my morning lessons with Audrey. As the year progressed, I realized I needed to go on the next trip. I realized more than ever that I knew the answer to my question from Lori. Yes. Yes, it was so important to me to have Jewish grandchildren. But then the next part wasn't so easy. What was I doing to ensure that they are Jewish? I had to take a hard look in the mirror, speak to Michael, and face our reality. Our reality was that there was a lot of moaning and groaning when it came to being Jewish. We both groaned about having to get dressed up to go to shul. We stressed out about planning and preparing for our seders, complaining about the price of buying kosher meat, and not understanding the importance of why we did any of these things. How was this going to help ensure my children, let alone my grandchildren, want to be Jewish? How was this setting an example for our children? In a simple answer, Michael and I committed to changing and setting a better example, living Jewishly for our grandchildren's sake, and making a commitment to their future. So, in 2011, I was fortunate to go on my first JWRP trip with Jet to Israel, and thus started our new story of living Jewishly. I knew from Audrey how awesome the experience was going to be, but I had no idea just how much of an impact this experience would have on our lives. I am still Nikki, and Michael is still Michael, but we have found a spark within us. It is growing passionately and dedicatedly. I was thinking about what this means to me really, because to define this is very challenging. But through Jet, I've learned so much more about how to live than just to exist. Through meaningful connections to my trip sisters, I have a whole new set of friendships I would never have otherwise been exposed to. I have a greater understanding to the Jewish community and the barriers that exist. I respect that we are all the same Jewish. No one better Jewish than the next person. We all worry the same, we all laugh the same, we all cry the same. There should not be any barriers because of observance level. We are all Jewish. So now life 4 years forward looks a little different. We relate to others around us differently. We teach our values to our children differently. We give tzedakah differently. We speak to others differently. So many people around us tell us they see the difference. While we may not feel different, we are different, but it's a different for better. Through Jet, we've gone to classes, attended Shabbos dinners, learned Torah values of giving and helping others. I've learned to read Hebrew for the first time from Rabbi Hoffman. We still go to shul regularly, we still have our seders and our Shabbos dinners all the time, and we still buy our kosher meat. Only now we understand why we truly do these things. Through Jet, our eyes have been opened to the example we're setting for our children. I would be remiss if I didn't say thank you to a few people. Firstly, I want to thank all of our friends and family who came out to join us tonight to share in this wonderful evening. Your support means the world to us. To Rabbi Shaps and Lauren, Rachel, Rabbi Hoffman, and the countless volunteer staff and volunteers with Jet, thank you for your support, your encouragement, your dedication, and most importantly, your friendship. To our parents and Nana, Howie Smolkin, Jack and Carol Sue Shapiro, and Beth Swedlove, we are proud to live by your example. All of you have shown us to live a meaningful and connected life. We hope that we're making you proud. And finally, to our beautiful children, Neil and Benjamin, this is all for you. The choices we make, who we are, is for you and your children.